Hello, and welcome to our first Latin lesson. As I mentioned in class at the beginning of the school year, Latin lessons are going to start being posted this month. And all of these Latin lessons are extra credit. You are not required by me to complete any of them. But I strongly encourage you to, and I'm going to lay out part of the reason why. I'm going to strongly encourage you to do that in this first lesson. And it has nothing to do with its extra credit, and you can help improve your grade. That's not the reason. That's, I guess, might be a reason, but it's not the reason I want to talk about. You'll notice here on the screen, we have two groups of words. You can see all of the first one. I'll scroll down in a minute for the second one. The first group of words, as it says, these are words that came from Latin to English with no change in spelling, right? No change in spelling. And the pronunciations have changed. The way you say a word in classical or ecclesiastical Latin is often different than the way you would say a word in modern English. But other than that, they're spelled the same, and they have pretty much the same meaning as well. The cultural context might have shifted the definitions a little bit, as in the case of senator. A senator in ancient Rome isn't quite the same thing as a senator today, but there's a reason why the Senate is called the Senate, right? So there's that. And as I scroll down, you'll be able to see the second group of words have come into English from Latin, and the changes in spelling are pretty minimal. And if you look at the word and you think about how it would be said in English, don't worry about how it would be said in Latin necessarily, at least not yet. You'll notice that it's often very easy to figure out what the word is. So the very first one that's listed there, aggressio, it's aggression, missing the N at the end, right? The one next to that, moving to the right, horribilis, that's horrible, natura, nature, or perhaps natural, postpono, to postpone something, right? Learning Latin should, in my humble opinion, be required of anybody who's studying English. Whether they're studying English as a second language or whether they're just studying English because they're going to a school in the United States of America, and that's one of the required subjects. It is an enormous help in terms of vocabulary, and it helps understanding grammar a little bit better. Word order and whatnot in Latin is not the same as it is in English, but the functions that a word has in Latin, whether it's a subject or a verb or direct object, those are all the same. And seeing how that works in Latin helps, at least it helped me, understand how those same things work in English, especially since English is a little less structured than Latin. English is kind of loosey-goosey when it comes to rules and things like that. In any event, that's one reason to study Latin. It helps you learn English better. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. So as we move on, this page isn't the assignment, right? This is the assignment. So this is Latin assignment 1, Latina una. And when you print this out, if you print this out, please print out both pages, this page and the next one. Staple them together, please. Use Stapler Junior if you want. And put your nomen, your name, and classis, your class, 7A, 8B, whatever, up at the top of the page. That way it's easier for me to sort them out. And what you have to do on this for both of these pages is just write the English word that goes with the Latin word. So, and there's a picture to help. So the very first picture, picture number 1, medicus. Whatever medicus is in English, put it. That's pretty simple, I think. In most cases, I doubt these will give you too much trouble. My one caveat, it's a Latin word, caveat is spell things correctly, please. So if you think that medicus in Latin means arugula, in English it doesn't. Don't put arugula. That's a vegetable, right? Then you would need to spell arugula correctly, right? Spelling is an important part of the discipline of learning any language, any language. So, like I said, there's 2 pages. There's this one here, and then there's this one here. There's 18 Latin words total. As I get more Latin lessons posted, please remember you're allowed to do 1 per week for extra credit, and I'll pick them up, I guess, whenever. Even though I did say in class I'm going to try to get away from picking work up early, but these don't really have due dates necessarily, other than I'll pick up 1 a week. Oh, and I guess the other proviso is, of course, you have to do the lessons in order. Right now, that's not a problem. I only have this one recorded and posted. But as I get Latin lesson 2 and Latin lesson 3 and so on and so forth, when you decide to get started, you have to start with Latin lesson number 1. Sorry, it's just the way it goes. It builds on, all right, each lesson kind of builds. In any event, that's it for this. Short, well, maybe not too short, because I did tend to ramble a little bit here and there. But that's probably not a surprise to y'all. I'll see you in class, and have fun until then. Bye.